Hi, welcome everybody. It's Scott and Kim with Brew Up Your Business. We are here today to discuss the results from over 80 of you responding to our survey on what you would like to work on in your business. What strategies would you like to receive additional assistance in terms of growing your client base, improving your marketing, enhancing your offers. And today we're going to talk about hiring and scheduling your staff and some suggestions that we have to assist you in improving that discussion and that working with your employees and onboarding them, bringing them into your coffee shop, into your brew pub, and making that a really positive and long-lasting experience.
Right, and just a disclaimer here, we are not hiring lawyers. There are things that you do need to keep in mind when you're hiring and what you say. When you interview people, there are certain questions you can't answer or ask, like things like, how old are you? Or
Right.
Are you married? Do you have any medical conditions that we should know about? There are certain things that you would think would be natural, but legally you want to watch in your area, and both federally and state, what you can and can't. However, that said, you do want to be looking for the right people who there's a baseline level of emotional intelligence. You can ask questions like, tell me about a time when you had an argument with a customer in your previous employment and how you handled that. And get them to share what their experiences were, not just yes/no answers. You want to open up and allow them to tell their story, because the more they can tell their story in an interview, the more you can peer into who you're really looking at. So don't always ask for all the accolades and all that sort of thing. In fact, I wouldn't even look at the resume. Really, I mean, you can probably pick out how old they are by when they graduated, all that sort of thing. But really asking them, in this situation, what would you do?
Right.
In that situation, what did you do? How would you handle someone coming in and shouting that your prices are too high?
Right.
Things like that.
Yeah, it's interesting that you brought up the resume, because what I was seeing was many business owners will get a lot of people who apply who aren't necessarily qualified or committed or very interested in the employment. They're just like, oh, so-and-so, Twin Elephants hiring. Okay, great. I'm going to throw in my resume. I don't know anything about beer. I'm just going to have a conversation. And one of the opportunities that I see to determine whether somebody is actually serious about working in your business, in your coffee shop or your craft brewery, is like, ask them for a copy of their resume. Ask them to go that extra step to have something that's put together. And even if again, it doesn't, it's just that extra commitment to provide something that's in writing to you that will then demonstrate how serious are they about this opportunity to engage with you. Because again, remember, your resources, your time is very valuable. And in the event that you can utilize obtaining a resume and seeing what their prior experiences was and their commitment to potentially working with you, that gives you an opportunity to screen somebody right off the bat. That they, if they're willing to put together that information, then you're willing to continue a conversation.
I think another thing that you want to, when you're hiring someone, is if you really have a good candidate, it wouldn't hurt to have the existing employees interview them as well as a group. Because then after the interview, you can get back together as a group and have a powwow and say, okay, can we see ourselves working with this person? Because that does two things. It gets more information that you yourself, the owner, may not see or pick up on. And secondly, if it's a good fit, you've already got the rest of the staff on board with that person. You don't have to explain why you hired this person and not that person.
Yeah. And it just, in my experience, additionally, having a day or even like a 4-hour period where the new hire comes in and it's like you're testing each other out, right? So it's like, I want to make sure you're a good fit with my team as the business owner, but you actually also want to give the employee to make that decision for themselves. Does the employee feel welcome in your community? And having that opportunity to come and be with you for a 4-hour shift is just a really great way to like try each other on, right? And again, there's no obligation on either party, but it just gives that opportunity to really understand what the expectations are, what is the feel, who are the people that I'm going to be working with if I'm the new employee, and for the existing employees to form those opinions as well, and gives real life experience to what would be expected of the new hire when they come on board. So again, giving that opportunity to have like an on-day shadowing or no obligation trial is another way to make sure you're hiring appropriately for your business.
So let's move on to scheduling staff. I can't imagine what it would be like to do that. Came across a blog post by brandmycafe.com. So it's blog.brandmycafe.com. We'll put the link in this particular video, but it's called How to Schedule Employees at a Restaurant or Cafe. And there's some tremendous ideas, like always planning ahead, proper planning, how important planning ahead. You don't want to schedule somebody for a Sunday afternoon, Saturday before that day. It just makes no sense, because your employees have a life, and you want them to be able to plan their lives accordingly. Another thing is ensure availability for each skill set, which I thought was kind of cool. Learning how to schedule employees at a restaurant or cafe is to ensure that, for instance, if you run a restaurant with multiple, I know there's a lot of noise here, but I'm in a coffee shop. The vibe gets kind of noisy sometimes, but this article goes into things like, don't forget to keep an open mind, encourage and employ active communication, use modern tools to your advantage. So there's a lot of good information in this particular post that I think we should share.
Yeah, the other thing that I would just recommend too is that there are going to be times where the schedule gets thrown out the window, right? Somebody calls out sick at 5 a.m. when you're opening in 2 hours. And, ideally you don't necessarily want to be the person as the business owner who shows up to take that shift, but sometimes you might have to do it, right? So really understanding that, okay, what's our shift? You don't be careful about over scheduling, right? Because one of our highest expenses as small business owners of coffee shops and craft brewers is our payroll. So we want to be really diligent about scheduling appropriately and to meet what the needs are in terms of providing an amazing experience to our clients. But we also have to protect our cash flow and our bottom line in order to continue to serve our community and our clients going forward. So just be really careful about the scheduling, and then be flexible about changes in the schedule that may occur and where you may need to jump in as a business owner to, serve coffee one day or pour a beer.
So I would add too, because of this strange global pandemic thing, everyone knows what, then COVID happened. We can tie scheduling staff kind of to the previous topic that we talked about in the previous video, which was enhancing employee satisfaction. You are better off retaining an employee by giving them time when they need it. Like if they have a death in their family or they get sick, be accommodating, because in the long run, you're better off retaining good employees than trying to just keep everybody in the same schedule all the time and not giving those accommodations that are necessary, especially now.
So true. Yeah, absolutely.
So that wraps up our 5 video series on the top 5 things that you all responded with. First of all, thank you so much for responding to the survey. If you know another coffee shop owner or craft brewery owner, let them know. Let them know about this thing. We'll put a link in this particular post as to where they can subscribe, because Kim and I aren't done. Kim is really good at helping you look at your cash flow. I can help you with strategic and productivity sorts of things, organizational things. So we're not done yet. We want to be a resource to you, and there's great stuff coming down the line. As you're listening to all of these videos, if you want to share your opinion or your experience, feel free to do that. Just reply to the email that you got. Kim, do you have anything you want to add before we close?
Yeah. Thank you, Scott. Thank you all. We look forward to assisting you and serving you to create thriving businesses in your communities and beyond. So good luck, everybody. Go brew your business.